Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Loch Briar Knits. I am Kelly, your hostess, and this is my little crafty corner of the world. We have a cast on about to happen, some sweater ideas, a finished knit, and actually I have 2 or 3 finished objects. So welcome, everybody, to my little corner of the world. I am coming from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and it is yesterday was a torrential downpour from like probably midnight of the day before right through the entire day, like torrential downpour, torrential. So today's just cloudy, not the greatest, but we have actually had some really great weather lately. So I'm looking at my stuff. I'm going to show you the finished objects first, and then we're going to get into some ideas. So let's just jump in with the sweater. This is my two-tone sweater. It actually looks much more pronounced in the photo here than it actually is. I'm going to move this back a little so we can get a better look. So, for anybody that, I think it was the last episode, I had started knitting with the second ball of yarn, completely forgetting I was using hand-dyed yarn and I should have been doing helical knitting, but it just looks color blocked. And these sweaters, I think you can see like kind of from right here down, and this one is not pronounced at all, so it's a little harder to tell. Like this one just looks as if like it doesn't really have any demarcation at all, but around here it was knit with this, and from here above is like this. So it looks a little color blocked instead of actually being one kind of uniform color. Do I care? No, I don't. So I do like it. It is the, oh my God, I'm gonna totally forget now. Hang on, bringing you back in. Bringing you back in. Get you right in the same spot. Nope. There we go. So this is, oh my God, what is this now? I want to see the DRK Everyday Sweater, but that's not it. Oh my God. Oh my God, I completely forget what this sweater is. I know I've knit, oh, it's the Espace Tricot, oh my God, I'll put it down below. I'm having a complete menopause moment right now. But it is Espace Tricot. This is the easy one. Nope, that's Hohi Locatelli. Anyway, this is my second one that I've knit, and I knit it out of, oh my God, we are just batting 1,000 today. Honestly, I've got like sweet paprika stuck in my head, and that's not it. This was, oh my God, I am so ill prepared today. Can you tell this was semi-impromptu? Actually, let me just see. That's not it. Okay, you know what? Spiced cider, tiny human knits. Okay, so come back to me. Okay, it was knit out of spiced cider, by Tiny Human Knits. It's just basically a straight raglan sweater. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just a basic raglan, which is probably why it's so easy. I knit it to kind of my usual length, and I inadvertently color blocked it. That's all I have to say about that. I will say the yarn is incredibly soft. It's a fingering weight yarn, and when I soaked and blocked it, I still got some of the dye coming out, and I also soaked and blocked my gray sort of marled hat with it as well. So that got a lot of this dye into it. So that's gone in the donate bin now. It was just like a basic. It was one of, because I was doing a bunch of hats just as to have something easy to knit. And so I messed up my hat. So that's going in the donate bin now. But I do have enough left over from the skein because I only use half a skein when I knit a hat. So I do have enough left over. So I've started a second hat. So that was lots of adventures in knitting. So I can't remember if I had these finished prior to or for last weekend or no, last episode. But I did finish my cinnamon and sage socks. This was knit out of my own yarn. I don't think there's any of this left in the shop, but it seemed to be well received. So I will probably be doing some more of that in the near future. So that's just my basic vanilla sock. When I do my socks, that's pretty much what I do. I do basic vanilla. I don't do anything fancy. I don't do any patterns. Socks are kind of my, I don't want to think about anything. Socks and hats are my, I don't want to think about anything. I just want to knit. Knits. So these, and I knit these for me, and I was knitting these. I can finally take them off the sock blockers and wear them. I was knitting those in tandem with another pair of socks. I would knit one of the cinnamon and sage, and then I would knit one of the It's a Petunia, and then I would knit the second sock for cinnamon and sage, and then the second sock for It's a Petunia. So It's a Petunia, oops, is also one of my hand-dyed yarns. There is still some of this left in the shop, and I absolutely love it. So let's just, so here it is, and it is sort of got, it's got some, this is the best way. This here is kind of a really good representation of what you're getting. You're getting like some pops of bright pink, some darker kind of purpley, and then this lovely spring green going through it. And again, just a straight up vanilla pattern. I think it's called I Have Partridge, is that right? For the heel flap. So it just kind of adds a little bit of, you know, I like the little detailing it gives. So that's my second pair of socks that I did. And I just finished these. No, it would have been yesterday because I was at the cottage when I finished them. So that's my third finished object. So there you have it. Now, a couple of things. So, I have put all of my yarns, I'll grab this one. And when I say all of my yarns, I mean like literally all of my yarn, in these big Ziploc bags. And the point of doing that is that if any of you were with me last winter, I noticed one of my Oslo hats had a little hole in it. It could just have been wear and tear. It could have been a slip, like a stitch that didn't get knit and it started to unravel. I don't know. But I get paranoid that it was moths. So I went through all of my knitwear and I found no other damage, nothing to indicate that I had some sort of infestation. But then I was kind of listening to Andrea Mowry, and she was talking about how she's completely paranoid about moths, and she has all of her yarns in Ziploc bags in bins. Now, I don't have them in bins. I don't have the room to have them in bins, but I thought, you know what? I have got a lot of yarn, and if it starts, if moths start getting into it, that could be tragic, especially where, you know, I'm getting close to retirement. I'm not going to be able to buy yarn the way I'm buying it now, so I am sort of stockpiling my yarn. I am buying a fair amount right now just to stockpile it so that when I'm retired, I will have a good stockpile. So I have literally gone through all of my yarn. So in all of my, see if I can do this without knocking things over. All of here, this is down here. This is all of my mohair. These ones here that I don't have room for. So I better figure out where I'm putting those. These ones up here, this is like a bunch of sock yarn. This one down here, which you can't really see, this one up here are all sweaters quantity. I have a basket over here that has, well, normally it has 4, but we're going to talk about 4 more sweaters quantity. And then downstairs in my other knitting room, this is my office, but the other knitting room, I have I have another, I think possibly 2 of these filled with sweaters quantity. Then I have a couple more that are, I've got all of my sock yarn pretty much downstairs. So that's all in a couple of, I think I took like 2 or 3, probably 3 of these, maybe more. And then I had just sort of odds and ends that of varying weights, not really a sweaters quantity, but maybe like 1 or 2, like enough to do a hats or something like that. I did get everything in bags. The only thing I don't currently have in the bags are the stuff that's in project bags that I'm working on. So that's everything. Is that everything I'm working on? Oh no, it isn't. Sorry. I did cast a sweater on. I wanted to start using up the sweaters quantity that I sort of designated as my Make 9 for this year. I'll link it up here if anybody who hasn't seen it, but for my Make 9 this year, I picked 9 sweaters quantities of yarn that I wanted to use, and as opposed to patterns. And I'm not doing that great at it, not gonna lie. The other thing I wanted to do was I was getting bored of kind of just doing simple raglans or just, just simple, whatever, top down, blah, blah. So as one does when they're bored of doing that, I cast on another simple sweater. I cast on, but there was a reason for that. I cast on another DRK sweater. This will be my 3rd. And I am doing this. I think the DRK sweater is made for sport weight. What I'm doing is a fingering and a mohair. So that's probably giving me more of a DK weight. And then I went up a needle size because I like to live in the edge. But I don't really feel like it's that much bigger. Like that still feels like it's fitting me the normal way it would. So I'm not too worried about it. It'll fit fine. And if it's a little bigger, that was sort of my intention, just to have something a little kind of cozy, but a little bigger. So the DRK Everyday Sweater is an Andrea Mowry pattern. I am knitting it using one of my designated yarns. This is Quince & Co. So this is Quince & Co. Finch. And this is in the Wasabi colorway. So this is the color. And then I'm mixing it with a Loft from Knit Picks in their lace weight silver mohair. Thank you. Thank you, brain. This is, I'm going to give you a close-up. A little Canadian flag there. So this is how it's turning out. It's giving kind of a nice marled effect. Now, part of me was kind of going back and forth on whether to put that with the mohair or not, because I really do like that color, and I knew it was going to end up being muted if I put it with that. But this is fingering weight, and I don't have a lot of fingering weight sweaters, but I don't wear a lot of fingering weight sweaters because usually once it gets warmer, like the fingering weight sweaters will come out in the fall, like early fall, and then they don't get as much rotation as the season gets colder, and I start kind of moving towards my kind of heavier sweaters, cozier, heavier weight sweaters. The reason that I decided to do this was, and to do this pattern again, is number one, I like the pattern. I like how the sweater fits me. This is my third one. I did the gray one. What's the one before that that I did? What did I use? Oh my God, I'm totally blanking. Anyway, that seems to be the theme of the day. All right, let's go with it. But I did want to have a needle on the sweaters. I wanted to have a sweater on the needles, and I wanted to start getting through the stash that I had sort of designated as my stash to be knit. So I cast this on, this has probably been just over, when did I cast this on? I cast it on earlier in the week, and then I was working on the neck, and then I'd say through the week I got down maybe to like about here, maybe? Yeah, I think I probably got down to the point where I was ready to split for the sleeves. Can't remember. Anyway, I would say for the weekend, I did about from here down. So I'm motoring along. I've got to go for 8 inches, and I've got, let's use my handy inch measuring tool. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 5 inches here. So I've got another 3 inches to go before I start the cuff, and then I'll do the sleeves, obviously. But the reason for me putting this on the needles instead of something else was that I just wanted something on the needles that I could knit on while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to knit next. I was starting to feel kind of bored with what I was knitting, and I felt like I was knitting kind of the same pattern or same style over and over again, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but there was a part of me that's like, I want to branch out. I want to push myself a little. So one of the things I really wanted to knit was another colorwork sweater. The first one I did was the Blizzard by Jessica McDonald, and I love her sweaters. I love them. And I had bought the yarn for my fletching. So here is a look at it. I'll put up kind of a colored picture. I don't know, here maybe? Like I bought the sweaters quantity for it, and what I got was Wool of the Andes in the sport weight, and it is in the Dove Heather color. But I can't find the contrasting yarn that I bought to do this, and this is only like one color. So if you're new to color work, her patterns are excellent. She's got a new one out right now, and the pattern, the color work is just down in this section here, and it's all one color, and it's beautiful. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll try to remember to put it down below. But I love her patterns. I love how she writes them. They're very easy. They're very clear. I love how she does the color work charts. It's very simple for my dyslexic brain. So I think that is what I'm going to do next. It's sport weight, so I think that's going to be a really good between kind of going from fall to winter, but also one that you can wear through the winter. Because I also wear like a t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt under my sweaters anyway. So, but I need to find the contrasting yarn that I bought for this, and I know I bought it. I know I bought it because I just don't remember where it is. I don't even remember what color I did. I don't remember. Anyways, and as I was kind of putting everything in the bags here, I was trying to find it and I haven't found it yet. So I don't know what I did with it. I think, because I don't even remember what color I'm looking for. I think it would have been kind of a burnt orange color, kind of, which I think is what she had in the pattern, like that she did, was almost like this burnt orange color, very fall color, that like fall orange color, you know. But I've looked everywhere and I can't find it. And I know I would probably have, I would say I probably would have had one skein, maybe two, and I can't find it. I did find like a red and a green, and then, but that was for a different sweater that of hers. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to go through and try to figure out what I'm gonna use for that if I can't find whatever yarn I bought, because I'm sure I would have bought it at the same time that I bought the full sweaters quantity yarn, and I would have just gotten it from Knit Picks. So I don't know what, I have no idea where it is. I have no idea. I'm hoping I can find something in my stash. I don't have a lot of sport weight yarn. Anyway, I'll figure something out, but that is going to be next on my list. I found some patterns that were interesting, and I'm going to kind of go through those and see which ones I feel I'm ready to tackle and which ones I think I want to up my skills a little bit before I tackle them, just so that it's a good experience and not a bad experience, that I don't waste yarn. So I do want to branch out a little more with my sweater knitting. So I've just got my computer here and I'm going to bring up Ravelry. So what I did was I did buy some patterns. Where's my library? Here we are. There's a few sweaters that I'm really interested in doing. So Ankestrick was doing, I think it was a birthday sale. I bought 3 of her patterns. So I'm gonna pop them up here. So the first one is it's called the Naima or Naima pullover. So it's got like this nice detailing kind of going along down the side, like kind of starting from here and going all the way down. And it's just looks very nice and cozy. So I figured that's enough detailing that it's not going to be like, I think it's a good place to start. The other one by her is a cardigan, which it's actually just a simple cardigan, and you can kind of vary the length of it. It's called the Rebel cardigan, and it's very simple. It comes in a short and a long version, as I said. No button band. Don't have to worry about that. So it's just like a very cozy looking sweater, and I think for my first cardigan, that would be a really good idea. The other one of the Ankestrick patterns that I purchased was the Birthday 61 sweater, and this one is, again, it's nothing elaborate, but I'm so used to just doing like plain stockinette stitch that I just feel like I just want to break out of that a little bit, but I don't want to go super crazy and kind of go beyond my skill set, as opposed to like building up my skill set and then have it be this onerous, painful experience. So the birthday sweater, it's almost like all over ribbing, but you can tell like there's detailing because it's sort of, this part comes down and then sort of comes across like that from the looks of it. So there will be some detailing in that sense. I think for me, I don't want patterns that are too overdone. I like just aesthetically, I like simple and classic designs, and I feel like this really fits the bill for that one. So the other thing that I bought, Autumn Snowfall, that's Jessica McDonald's new one. It is just a simple, she's got it in this beautiful autumn orange color. You'll see it up here, and then the detailing is just down along the band, which is beautiful. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I do like straightforward in my sweaters, but I also feel like I need a little more of a challenge, I guess, but not too much of a challenge. I don't want to be pulling my hair out. These are kind of the few of the things that I was looking at as far as where I want to take my knitting. And obviously I'm not going to be able to get all those done before the end of the year, but I would like to maybe start the fletching. I keep saying fletching. Is it fletching? No, it's fletching. I do want to start the fletching next, so I have to find that yarn. This room is such a mess right now. It's a disaster. Not a disaster. It's close to a disaster. I just have to find where to put things, because when I was kind of doing everything up, I had things from downstairs that I brought up, and now I got to find a place for them, probably downstairs. I've got to go through some things. I just need to get this place organized. I find where I work in here for my day job that I seem to accumulate stuff in here, and then I'm like, why is all this stuff in here? And I start so anyway, neither here nor there. So that is kind of what I have coming up. I definitely want to branch out. The other thing I have to do is start getting some Christmas knitting done. And one of my nephews has indicated that he wants a blanket like the one that I had knit his father. So if you guys were with me last year, I think I have a picture of it, so I'll try to remember to pop it up here. But I had knit a TV blanket using the Fisherman's Wool yarn. He wants one of those. And those aren't like quick to knit, so I'm gonna have to start it ASAP. With his dad's, I did it kind of this color. I think it was a shade darker than this one, and then the plain cream, and I striped it kind of going this way. And what I had done was I had cast on 200 stitches going this way so that the yarn was being knit that way. I was originally going to have the stripes sort of go like this, like down, as opposed to across, but I was just guessing at the amount of stitches, and the 200 count made it quite wide. And I thought, if I'm gonna make that into a square or a rectangle, using that width, it was going to take forever, and I was running out of time. So I thought, I'm going to just have the stripes go down this way. And I think what I am going to do is I'm going to see if I can figure out how many rows I did of each color, and then what I think I'm going to do is sort of go with these three, and then like go 1, 2, 3, maybe 1, 2, 3. Anyways, but these are going to be the 3 colors that I use. So his will have kind of 3 colored stripes, whereas his dad just had the 2. And I'm going to have to get started on that right away, because it's, how many months have I got left? September, October, November. Yeah, I got 4 months left. And I still have some other like Christmas knitting I need to do, and my own knitting. So that is a project I do need to get cast on. I have to cast on another pair of socks, and I think I might start doing my Christmas sock knitting as opposed to knitting for myself. So that's kind of what's coming up in the works. I feel like I have been rambling endlessly, and I'm hoping this sounded somewhat coherent. But for now, I am going to let you go. I'm going to clean up this mess, and I think I might cast on the blanket and maybe get it started on that. And also trying to find the contrasting color for the color work in the Fletching sweater, which seems to have wandered off on its own somewhere. So until I see you guys next episode, I hope you have a great start to your fall. I hope you have lots of plans for some sweater weather or cozy knits. Let me know down below what you guys are knitting for the fall, and if any of you have started Christmas knitting yet. So until then, I will see you next time. Happy knitting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.